House Tax Writer Committee, Ways and Means. They're going to hold a hearing tomorrow with Trade Rep Robert Lighthizer. They want answers about the trade deal with China. Joining us is Congressman Buchanan, Republican, Florida. He's a member of that tax writing committee. Congressman, may I ask, what question will you ask Mr. Lighthizer?
I think the biggest thing for me is just the enforcement. Agreement is only as good as the two parties. You know that, Stuart, in terms of negotiating agreement. But how do we enforce that going forward? That's my concern, because we've been talking about intellectual property theft for the last 20 years. I was in Beijing 20 years ago. Was involved with the U.S. Chamber at the time on the board, and that was one of the things we've talked about, and we've made little or no progress in 20 years. So to have an agreement, it's only as good as the two parties.
Do you think Mr. Lighthizer can come completely clean about all the details that are in the developing trade deal? I mean, can he be really clear about exactly what enforcement mechanisms there are?
I think, I understand the document's going to be about 150 pages. They're getting pretty close to getting that done, 90%. That's my understanding. So I think if anybody can do it, he can do it. He's got a good team and a good staff that he's working closely with. But again, at the end of the day, you could have a 1,000-page document, and if you can't trust both sides, what good is it? And then you got to relitigate it at some point in the future. But I want to be hopeful. Hopefully we can work on this on a bipartisan basis.
I've got to leave you in just a few seconds, but I think, sir, you are a hardliner, correct?
Yeah, I just think we got to be a lot tougher. We got to fight for our jobs in our businesses in America. Our trade deficits are monstrous. It's 2/3 of the trade deficits we have in the world. That's got to change and move in another direction.
Congressman, look, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning, sir. We do appreciate it. We're just